buddy. You're fine. This drive-thru is just crazy. Oh my god, I'm so hungry. I'm always fucking hungry. Always. Look at all these ones. I got 2 egg wraps and a double shot of espresso. So, surely that's no more than damn $13, right? I don't know. I'm starving and it's pouring, if you can't tell. I had 2 assholes wake me up this morning running their fucking mouth, you know, because they don't fucking work. They're retired. They're fucking retired. We're getting food.
Hey, 2 bacon, egg, and cheese, wake up wraps, and double espresso. 1028.
Here you go. I don't need any change. Thank you.
What can I get served for you?
Sorry. Didn't work. Sausage, egg, and cheese. Hell no. This is the world now. It's only gonna get worse. So it looks like I was completely right about the new Pope. I've been looking into him for 2 days. I was right. So I said that either the Catholic Church, since Pope Francis died, they were either going to go back to a more conservative way, or they were going to dig their toes in and continue reveling in blasphemy, because that's what the Catholic Church is doing. This new Pope is not a good person. He is a firm supporter of the LGBTQ+, and as I've explained, only false teachers would allow this to happen. God is very clear in his word that homosexuality is a sin. It is not to be accepted. Thank you. Yeah. Thank y'all. Have a great day. Why did it take so long? That's so weird. This is where I got that coffee too, and then I got sick an hour later. I chalked it up to, oh, it's my period. I don't know. I ain't never threw up and had to poop at the same time. Never. Ever. Kind of weird. Never had my period do that to me before. But whatever. Whatever. So yeah, the Catholic Church is just, I predicted it. I said they're either going to go conservative. There's a short on this, or in a whole video. I said they're either going to go far right or they're going to go far left. They literally picked the most far left person that you could have in the Catholic Church and put him in there. It's crazy because it's like everybody's celebrating this bullshit, and it's like, y'all are all going to burn in hell. And they don't even know it. Well, hell, the church has been teaching them that it's okay. You know what I mean? The church is teaching them that this is acceptable when it's not. I mean, in the Catholic Church, already has a horrible history. Let's look at this. They're always so hot. Bacon, egg, and cheese. It's crazy. Sriracha from Starbucks. I don't want that coffee right now. That coffee is when I go to work. Or when I go to work. Electrolytes. So hungry. I gotta get my phone fixed. I can't even get YouTube on here. I don't even want to talk about it. This phone doesn't, this is a downgrade from the 11. I'll show you what I mean. Downgrade. If you're a girl, where's the predictor? Where's the predictor? Where's the period predictor? What happened, Apple? What is this? Ain't worth the damn. Not only that, it doesn't work near as good as the 11. Oh! I saved it. I'm gonna get my phone fixed. Have to. No, why are you telling me all this shit? I wanna know. This is wild. Wikipedia has went and changed shit over the weekend. Good morning, Critter. They sure did. Oh, they had to update it, I guess, because he was put into office or whatever. Put into office. Wow, they took all the shit about sexual abuse away. It's okay, I have screenshots on that phone. But they changed the Pope's entire wiki page, and everything that was bad on there is now gone. I just looked at it yesterday. I have screenshots. He had more than a few people that worked underneath him that he knew was molesting and offending people, and he did nothing about it for years. Ugh, not to mention, anything he teaches will be blasphemy because he's not a man of God. You can't be a man of God and support the LGBTQ+. That's a false prophet or a false leader or whatever you want to call him. Who's Fujimori? President of Peru. What did he do to go to jail? He was convicted. He's the president of Peru. He was convicted of human rights violation and sentenced to 25 years in prison for the killings and kidnappings. He was pardoned by somebody. Yes, here we go. Prior provincial. Listen. Sorry, I'm hungry. Let me read it. Yeah. He was linking up with sex offenders. Yeah. Thank you, Cecilia. Love the hearts. He was linking up with sex offenders. The new pope was wiping the asses of sex offenders in the parish. In 2000, he permitted Augustinian priest James Ray, suspended from public ministry since 1991 due to credible accusations of sexually abusing minors, to reside at St. John Stone Friary in Chicago under the supervision after prior housing rejected him. The review board, they rejected him. So the Pope's like, oh, don't worry about it. Nobody has to know. Two years later, when someone found out about this, they had this guy James Ray, that was a sex offender, they made him leave in 2002. So for 2 years, the Pope allowed this sex offender to be working in the church, within the church, knowing good and well that the man was a sex offender. That wasn't the only one. That's the only one coming up now. I got screenshots, though. I'm going to go back. This is ridiculous. He looks like a sneaky little fucker. You know what I mean? A weasel. Yeah, here we go. Here's the other one. In 2001, is that his name? Prevost? Is that his last name? He served 2 consecutive 6-year terms until 2013. And this was the Order of the Saint of Augustine. During his tenure, complaints of abuse against minors were made against Richard McGrath, a former president of the St. Augustine-run Providence Catholic High School, and who was removed in 2017 following a child pornography investigation. A $2 million settlement was reached between the Diocese of Joliet in Illinois and a former student who alleged McGrath R-worded them in the 1990s. And these are just the 2 that we know about. And if he's protecting abusers, what do you think that means for him internally? What type of person even protects somebody that they know is a pedophile? People out there in the street clapping like damn dancing monkeys, like this shit's cute. I wonder how many people's souls are going to burn in hell because they were misled by this new pope. If you're coming into a church environment and you've never been exposed to that before, you don't know what is right and what is wrong. That is the job of the church and the pope and the priest and the cardinals, to teach everybody what is acceptable and what is not. This is not acceptable. That man is not a good man. He's a false leader. Just like the one before him. This is what I meant when I said 2 weeks before the Pope died, I said the Pope's about to die, and I explained this. We had this talk. I said they're either going to go far right or far left, and they've went far left than they've ever been before. Way far left than they've ever been before. The fact that he is from America should tell you everything you need to know. This man's from Chicago. For the first time in 2,000 years, the church elected a Westerner. That's no coincidence. Oh, he's also an abortion supporter. He's a low-key abortion supporter. He's making it to where all of these sins, homosexuality, abortion, extramarital affairs, stealing, lying, what the church has been doing for years is making actions or making excuses for other people's actions. And they've been allowing people to think that this type of behavior is normal, and they have not been stopping it because they want the money to roll in. The more people that they can get in the Catholic Church, the more money they're making. He also expressed solidarity with Venezuelan immigrants. Well, why don't you let him move in with you? Since you got such a big heart and God's leading you in a direction to get into politics when you should be worried about the church, why don't you let him move in with you? During his time in Chicago, he has been accused of covering up sexual abuse. In 2022, alleged victims of abuse in 2007 by priest Ricardo Paiva and Aletrio Gonzalez said that the Pope failed to investigate their cases. So children have come forward saying that they told the Pope, the now Pope in 2025, that they were getting abused and the Pope helped cover it up. That was just in 2022. That was 3 years ago. I wonder if this motherfucker is going to try to normalize pedophilia. Oh, I just got chills. Why would they put him in there, y'all? Unless they have an evil fucking plan. He's not a good person. It's my belief that they're going to try to that's my prediction. That's my prediction. They're going to try to make excuses for why perverts are perverts. And they're going to try to condition and normalize pedophilia in the church. That's my fucking prediction. It might take 10 years of this Pope being in office, but watch the fucking tides change. And they've already been doing that all over the fucking West anyways. We slap pedophiles on the fucking wrist. They have groups called like MAPS, minor attractive persons, where pedophiles get together and socialize. They've been doing this for years. They're trying to normalize this behavior in society. That's why they're conditioning people to be overtly sexual. That's why dating apps and hookups apps have become prevalent. People are falling for it hook, line, and sinker. So in 2018, the Diocese of Joliet in Illinois, they paid out $2 million because the Pope covered up abuse that this guy McGrath, his name was Richard McGrath, was a pedophile within the church. He was not even supposed to be on the property. And our current Pope allowed him into this school, the Diocese of Joliet in Illinois, and the students there were sexually assaulted, and the church had to pay out $2 million over that. These cases are not alleged. There's a court record. This shit happened. Oh, Pope Francis also, knew this guy very, very well. They were very close. Birds of a feather flock together. Yes, if you cover up for a pedophile, that makes you a horrible person. Yes. And you will burn in hell for that. What is this? He think, Oh, so he's going to be a social media preacher? In May of 2023 interview, the Pope stressed the need for prudence and responsibility on using social media to preclude fueling divisions and controversy. Oh. Well, there wouldn't be so much fucking divide if you were doing your job right. You got people thinking out here that God said, respect thy neighbor, and that's all they're supposed to do. It's crazy. So it's okay. It's a sin to lie and steal, but it's not a sin to have homosexual sex. That's what they're teaching. You can't nitpick what you want to follow out of God's rules. It's all or none. So they just want to pick and choose what sins they can abide by, or what sins they can commit, and what's not a sin. That's what they're doing. And you can't do that. That makes him a false leader. Just like Pope Francis. I bet you if we dug into every single one of these guys, they were all bad. All of the old popes. Oh, so he's over here criticizing Trump. I bet he is. He's a leftist. He still supports George Floyd and his protesters. I love how the UK has so many problems with immigration right now, but instead of this Pope using his brain, he's over here trashing Trump, saying that the Salvadorian prisons are horrible and that people from El Salvador shouldn't be sent back there. Then why don't you take them? We'll ship them to you. How about that? All the criminals that we are shipping, the hundreds of thousands of people that have already been deported out of this country, why don't we send them to you? We'll send them right to the church. They can move in. He's voted in the Democratic primaries and Republican primaries. Are you sure about that? Also, you voted for Donald Trump in 2014, 2012. He voted in the Republican primary 2012, 2014, and 2016. That's weird. What happened to him? How do you go from being a far rightist to a far leftist? Let me tell you, money. 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 That's how. Money. Here we go. So he's learning from his mistakes. Let me read you this. In 2012, he criticized popular culture's sympathy for the homosexual lifestyle and same-sex families. In 2016, the Pope opposed the inclusion of gender ideology in schools' curriculum, stating it promotes genders that don't exist. So that's why he was voting for Trump. I get it now. Then in 2023, the Catholic News Service asked him whether his views from 2012 had changed, and he said, quote, "Many things have changed, and that there has been a need for the church to open and be welcoming," emphasizing Pope Francis' message on not making people feel excluded because of the choices they make. Pope Francis got to him. Pope Francis is the one that trained him. He's a climate change activist. So from 2012, it took less than 10 years to infiltrate his mind. From 2012, he criticized the homosexual lifestyle because that's what he's supposed to do as a preacher. But by 2023, He said that the church needed to be open, that many things have changed, and they needed to be welcoming, emphasizing Pope Francis's message. And for those that don't know, Pope Francis has been accepting of the LGBTQ+, and actually had a church out in the street with gay people in a fucking parade. He's gonna burn for that action alone. He's down there burning down for that. Not to mention the false God he brought into the Catholic cathedral and paraded around. It was some fucking tribal god from fucking Peru or somewhere. Who fucking knows? Who fucking cares? God is clear. You are to have no other God other than me. So funny, he switched in less than 10 years. Pope Francis was able to infiltrate the new Pope's mind and condition him to behave the way that he wanted the Catholic Church to continue. It's just like Justin Trudeau and Mark Carney. I always call him a Carney. It's just like Justin Trudeau training Mark Carney before Mark was elected. Why do you think Justin put him in his place temporarily? He had already trained him. So he's going to run the country just like Trudeau did. Yeah. Pope Francis is 100% burning in hell. It's crazy. Pope Francis took a more inclusive stance on the LGBTQ+ issues than his predecessors. He famously stated, "Who am I to judge? Who are you to have a fucking opinion? Your job is to be teaching the word of the Lord. And the Lord says that he's fucking judging at all times. So how about you do your job and teach the words out of the Bible, not words you have made up to get a cult following for funding." Who am I to judge? Nobody. Exactly. Why don't you do your job and teach the words out of the Bible? What God said is that homosexuality is a sin. This shit crazy. Y'all, I wish I could go over there and tear this church apart. You're fired. You're fired. You're a false leader. You're a false leader. You're going to burn in hell. Fuck you. You're cool. Because, there's one out of like 20 that are cool. So, he's also met with LGBTQ+ groups, including transgender Catholics, and he approved the blessing of same-sex couples. So I was right. They're going completely left. And in my opinion, there's a purpose. And it probably has to do with trafficking children. The use of children. Disturbing. Very disturbing. And here's the thing. He's done protected how many pedophiles? The church had to pay out $2 million for one of those cases because the church knew that he covered up for this guy. How do I get marked a child beater and actual child abusers are the head of the fucking church and countries? I've never harmed a child. Never even spanked my daughter. I don't believe in corporal punishment. I know I do a lot of joking on here. I'm like, oh, they need to be punched in the face. Children don't need to be disciplined in that manner. It causes more psychological damage than discipline. You can discipline a child without having to scare the God into them, scare the God out of them. But how do I get labeled the child beater when I've never touched a child like that, harmed a child in that manner? But we have actual pedophiles and child traffickers all over this country in places of power. I guess this is what God was talking about in Revelations, right? Yo, I have no plan. I need to do laundry. I'm being lazy. I might take a little sip of this coffee so I can wake up and do laundry. Let's do laundry. Let me grab my bag before we bounce out of here. Sorry, I didn't mean to ignore y'all's messages. Let me look. Yeah, absolutely, Veronica. That's what I'm saying. Something shifted because the new Pope, he was voting for Trump. It wasn't the 2016 election. Trump, no. One Trump, I don't remember when he was in office. But he was voting Republican from 2012 to 2016. And he was condemning homosexuality. He was condemning abortions. 2016. Thank you, Vinny. So yeah, he was a rightist. He was a rightist. And then he went to work for fucking Francis, or got in the same cathedral church, I don't know, parish. The church got to him. Here's the thing about the Catholic Church. They'll use you if you're moldable. If you're moldable. These popes are probably planned out for a while, y'all. They probably have people that... Listen, if our government has all of this behind the scenes shit going on that the general public doesn't even realize, imagine how bad it is in the oldest... I know that's not the government, that's the church, but that is one of the oldest organizations on earth. Imagine the power and manipulation that they have. We know that they have it. And I'm not sure what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say that all of this shit is planned out years before. They pick a direction and they go with it. And they know they've probably seen more money in the past few years since they have opened their doors to the LGBTQ plus, you know? And so they're going to keep rolling with that ball because, I mean, ultimately, oh my God, it's just like Animal Farm. Oh my God! They lost their mission, fam. They lost their mission. They forgot what started, like, so the Catholic Church started out trying to bring people to religion, right? Well, we'd like to assume. But now their goal is money. They lost their mission. Their eye is not on the prize. This started out as bringing people closer to God, and now it's a money-making racket. And it probably has been for years. Probably has been. Amen, Chad. Amen. I am with God, not the church. Amen. You know, and I think that nowadays, given the circumstances of politics being intertwined with churches, I think that, you know, there's a lot of online preachers that do a really good job. You can have church at home with your family on the TV, and I would recommend doing that. Find you a service on YouTube that you align with. Maybe watch you a few minutes, you know, in the movie along it, and you know, decide if it's something that speaks to your heart, and then share it with your family and do church at home, especially if you have a big family, because these churches, I'm not trying to discourage people. If you got a church, good for you. I love to go to church too. And I do. But what I am saying is, if you think that you're being bamboozled and you feel like your church asks you for money more than it is trying to teach you the words of the Lord, then maybe you ought to look at a private service at home. And if you don't go to church, definitely do that with your family, you know. I think that that is what God wants. That's what he wants. He wants us to revel in his word. He wants us to take the initiative to read his word and to find preachers who are worthy of listening to. It's like all of a sudden everybody gets a damn preacher's certificate from a damn college, and everybody just feels like they have to listen to this person. It's almost like people forget that that is still a human, and they are subject to fault. Okay? They're subject to fault. The old age churches that are more actual, the word of God, where they give sermons, people have turned away from that because they don't want to hear the truth. So these mega churches, and even the Catholic Church, they've gotten to where it's all lights, show, cameras, music, and they want people to feel like they're at a concert. Like, seeing the Catholic Church go to LGBTQ plus events was insane. That is not acceptable, and that is not what God means when he says that he wants you to learn his word. That's not what he means. And when he says to love our brothers and sisters, we don't love them to a point that we watch them harm themselves and accept it. We make it known, this is not acceptable. I still love you. And sometimes you have to love that person from a distance in order to protect your relationship with God, because the closer you get to people that are reveling in the devil's work, the more you're complicit in their behavior, which you're sinning. You're sinning. So, yeah, you have to love certain people from afar if you're serious about your religion. God is clear. Yeah, it's all like, when the preacher's giving his sermon and stuff, people are sitting there, I guess, self-analyzing, like, oh, I do this wrong, oh, I do that wrong, and so they feel some type of way about Sunday sermon because they're taking it personal, because they're living their lives wrong. So people don't want to hear that. They want to come to church and have a concert. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. This is wrong. This is a whole sin in itself. I feel like God would have a huge problem with his name being used to lure people who are desperate and suffering into a church to collect money. I know that God, it's got to be in the Bible. It's got to be in the Bible. The Bible, yes, that's the book for me. I stand on the word of God. The Bible. Anybody know a marching band? We need to. I need a marching band behind me. I need my little baton. All right. Allow. Does God talk about not profiting off of his name? Woo! Yes. Woo! The Bible prohibits profiting from God's name or word. I knew it. The 10 Commandments specifically forbid taking God's name in vain. Additionally, Corinthians warns against those who peddle the word of God for profit. People are so dumb, they think that name in vain is goddamn. No, the name in vain is to profit off of his name. Lord, maybe he need to be clearer. I know the Bible's up for interpretation, but so many people think that goddamn is saying his name. No, I'm speaking to him. I'm saying, God, damn, look at this. we having a conversation. I'm not cursing him. And it's interesting because that's the first one mentioned. The Bible prohibits profiting from God's name or word, specifically forbidding taking God's name in vain. So that's what taking God's name in vain would be. It's profiting off of God's title within a church or an organization or a cult. Corinthians 2:17 warns against those who peddle the word of God for profit. This implies a misuse of God's name for personal gains is acceptable. So I knew it was in the Bible. I just didn't know where. It doesn't matter what religion you are. I went to my first Catholic Mass a few weeks ago. It was nice. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoy the traditionalism of the Catholic Church. That's the way that it's supposed to be. It was very professional and formal, and I appreciate that. Not only was it professional and traditional, but the preacher was amazing. He's a new, I think, what do they call it? Cardinal or priest? I don't know. He's a new one. We got to go to the gym and see if I can find my key too. He starts talking, it was Holy Week, and he starts saying, this week for Holy Week, I'm going to wear you out. I want you to be exhausted. I want you to feel pain. First of all, listen, that's not something that you would hear in a modern church. It's not something you would hear. They'd have no parish. They'd have no people in there. So what he was saying is that since it was Holy Week and Jesus was crucified, he wanted us to feel some of the pain that Jesus went through. They had church multiple times a day through Holy Week, Mass, and he said he wanted to see people's faces and he wanted them exhausted from coming in hearing the word of the Lord. And I respect that. I like that, because so many people know the story of what happened to Jesus, but I think that it's hard for people to conceptualize what his death was like. There's a huge statue in the church of Jesus on the cross, and it's literally right in the middle of the church, like hanging, and the preacher was telling us to stare at it. He was like, stare at it. Think about what that must have been like. Deep shit, you know? To have a preacher say, you need to be in pain. Your walk with Christ is not supposed to be easy. If it's easy, then you're lying to yourself. To hear that from a priest, I'll definitely be back. You know what I mean? Because that's what it's the tough love that I appreciate. That is what is lacking in society, and that is why society is no longer cohesive. It's not sticking together, okay? The Velcro ain't sticky no more. That's why society's falling apart. It's like people are lying to themselves. Other people are lying to other people. It's like, wait a minute. This gentle bullshit that we have going on out here is really killing people. And they're killing themselves. Oh, what was I getting? A laundry bag. Sweden. Hey, buddy. Is it Canaan? Oh, my God, y'all. Canaan? Laundry bag. Guess what happened last night? So I get to work, right? And we got 2 drinks of the day, which is like this pre-mixed bar stuff. One of them was a strawberry margarita, and the other one was, a paradise. And it matched my green dress. As soon as I walked in, my boss is there, and he goes, hey! He's like, you matched the drink of the day. He's like, this is perfect. I was like, no way. He was so happy that I fucking dressed up. I was like, damn, who you been dealing with, homie? Listen, this poor man, he opened this bar 2-3 months ago. He ain't been able to find no good help. Bless his heart. He been dealing with 20-year-old girls. And listen, if you know, you know. I ain't saying there's nothing wrong with a 20-year-old baby, but I will circle you like a fucking vulture all night. So can you just get the fuck out the way? They a little slow, okay? I don't know if you've had to deal with the fucking Gen X recently, but they a little slow. They just don't move like us fucking millennials getting shit done. They just don't move, honey. They ain't firing on all cylinders. They're down on 4 flats, like they're down like 4 flats on a Cadillac, okay? First of all, when I started day before yesterday, I had to like clean a lot of stuff. So I continued that last night. I first got there and I couldn't like get my mind right. But after like some espresso, I started cleaning. So I started cleaning everything. First of all, this is a really nice fucking place. I don't think I've ever worked anywhere where everything was fucking new. You don't see that in the bar industry, okay? Shit be falling apart in the bar industry. Your coolers kick the bucket, the ice machine breaks, you drop glasses. Shit just breaks, okay? I've never worked anywhere where they completely gutted a bar and then renovated it. I mean, he had to have spent a damn $1 million. At least. Crazy. So anyways, let me tell you what happened though. So I get in last night and I'm cleaning and so everything's new. I start cleaning and I freaking break the sink out behind the bar. It was the nozzle. It like wasn't screwed tight. This is my excuse. It wasn't screwed tight enough. So when I went to cut it on, it actually broke it off of the hot water tap. And so the knob is just going all the way around and the water's running and I can't get it to stop. So I'm like, hey, do you have a screwdriver? Because I didn't want him to know. I was just going to fix it myself, tighten the screw up and put the handle back. He's like, what? A screwdriver? And I'm like, yeah, I broke the sink. And he's like, oh, I'll get one. So he comes over, he's fixing the sink. He's like, you're so strong. And I was like, yeah, I'll be more careful, my bad. So then 20 minutes later, I'm cleaning the cooler
I'm wiping the glass down, and there's like a handle that's kind of it disappears. You can't really see it unless you grab the door and you can open it. So I'm cleaning this handle because I realized that there's like bar sticky shit. Thank you so much, Phoenix. There's bar sticky shit on it. So I go to swipe my hand up to clean, and the fucking top of the cooler door comes undone and falls in the floor. So then I'm like, I gotta get my boss back out here. I walk up to him with this cooler piece, and I'm like, can you fix this? He said, "Oi, you so strong. What do you eat?" That's what he said. He said, "Oh, you're so strong. What are you eating?" Y'all, I wanted to crawl into the bar and die because I don't want him to think that I'm gonna fuck shit up. That was so funny. Listen, at my defense, both of them damn things was raggedy as hell. That wasn't even my fault. Whoever built this shit didn't put enough wood glue on the door handle. So the door handle at the very top, there's like a wooden piece that's glued down in there to make it look more fancy. They didn't put enough fucking wood glue. I used to do woodwork. That shit shouldn't have popped off. He said, "Hey, you're so strong. What are you eating?" It's so funny because I just stuffed a whole rotisserie chicken, cottage cheese, yogurt, and salad in the fridge. I came in with both my groceries. He didn't say nothing. We got like so many. Our cooler is the size of a damn trailer. That cooler is like a 12 by 28. It's huge. You could live in it. You could live in it. That's how big our walk-in cooler is. It's huge. And then I also have 2 other fridges. I got a fridge. I got a fridge behind the bar, and then I also got another fridge in our kitchen. Thank you for the flowers, Cecilia, and thank you again, Phoenix. I hope you're doing well this morning. Happy Saturday, y'all. We're gonna go get our lives together. He said, "You're so strong. What have you been eating?" Y'all, I like to die. I laughed so hard. He's so funny. Last night went well. Oh, let me tell you something. You ever find out I'm in jail, it's probably because somebody was disrespecting my friends behind the bar. We got this, all right, first of all, backstory. So my boss ain't been able to find good employees. Every time he hires somebody, they're either not showing up, stealing out the till, or drunk. So I cleaned a vape shop. So where I do laundry, there's a vape shop beside it. The guy in there asked me, he asked me one time if I would clean his shop when he saw me. And I said, absolutely, no problem. So I had to take all this stuff off of these huge glass shelves, big old bongs, bowls, everything used for smoking. He sells tobacco, vapes. It's a huge vape shop. So I cleaned this shop, and it took me like 2 days in 2 weeks. I came on one day, cleaned for the entire day, and then I came back the next week and finished the rest of the shop. So then he runs into me, or that day, the second day I cleaned his shop, he said, "I've got a cousin that has a vape shop that needs his vape shop cleaned. Will you clean it?" And I said, "Absolutely. Here's my phone number. Just let me know. I can come whenever you need me." Then I ran into him doing laundry, and he said, "I got a job for you." And I was like, "Oh, really? I'll go clean." And he's like, No. This is a bartending job." And I was like, "Really?" I was like, "That's what I've done the majority of my career." I said, "So that's awesome." So I go to my new job, meet the manager and everything. He explains the problems, explains what he wants me to do, shows me how to make some of our kids. Oh my God, I told you! Thank you, Jesus. Y'all, when I got in the truck yesterday, first of all, I'm about to take that shit off. This thing is why I lost my key. My thing was like caught up in it, and when I went to take it off, this thing must have pulled this off, and I didn't notice. I'm glad. Oh my God, I need to get another fucking key fob. I had to, but you know, shit happens. So I had that. That's how I lost it. I'm so glad I found that. I'm glad I didn't panic. So he tells me he's had all these problems. He's showing me the way that he wants stuff done. And at the same time, there was a really nice lady in there. We'll call her G, because I'm going to be working with her. So G is a really nice lady. And she's going to be bartending with me, and she's never bartended before. High five back, Cecilia. So she's never bartended before. She worked at this swanky, really nice hotel pavilion, and for some reason they went out of business. And so she was a chef there, and like this nice resort. So since we're building a kitchen, she wants to cook in the back. I think she can bartend, but she's kind of like me. She's very high strung like me. Very high strung. I think even more high strung than me. She's very high strung like me, full of anxiety. You can tell that she's a good person. You can feel her energy and tell that she's, you know, a good soul. Probably been through a lot like me. It's so crazy how so many of us end up in the service industry. You know, children of trauma, children of substance abuse, or adults of substance abuse. It's really interesting. So anyways, we're working last night, and she doesn't know. So first of all, I killed it last night. I had my old fashions. I was making Mai Tais. I was literally making everything. Like I said, I need you to tell me, do you want a 1 ounce pour or 2 ounce pour? What are we doing here? I need you to show me how you do things here. And once I get it, I get it. Killing it. Running the POS system. Yeah, we were killing it. I had a party of like 20 come in first thing. So I was there for the first 3 hours by myself. And I had a party, a birthday party. First of all them women were so nice. The theme of the party, listen to this. So they did a theme party. They dressed up like a liquor bottle. So there was one girl, she was a bottle of Hennessy, and she had on like this beautiful dark brown chocolate ball gown. But it was like the triangles that come up over the boobs, and then it ties in the back, and then it was like this beautiful flowy dress. It was so pretty. She looked like a bottle of Hennessy. There was one girl came as Malibu. She was in a white dress. So the theme of the birthday party was your favorite liquor. It was called Poppin' Bottles. And so they were so nice, y'all. I convinced them to take some shots. I was like, we gotta do shots, you know? And so I was taking them shots over there, and then I was like, we gotta take pictures. Like, I was taking pictures for them. Like, I love stuff like that. Like, I'm really good at events and stuff, like the flow of events, baby showers, weddings. You know, I've coordinated events before. So this birthday party was right up my alley, and my boss, I guess, called me in and had me come in early for it. It was so much fun. They were so nice. They tipped me. So anyways, going back to G. So G comes in, I think at like 8 o'clock, and I had been there by myself for most of the day. So G comes in, and we're going over drinks and stuff, and things start to pick up. It gets so busy in there. It got really busy. It's going to be hard work. I mean, it got busy last night. So I'm running around. You know, we have activities there. I can't really say what it is, but I'm helping people with activities. I'm serving drinks. And all of a sudden, I see this table come in the back. And I walk up. I'm like, hey, do you guys need a menu? And they're like, this bitch goes, she says, the other bartender has already been over here. I said, oh, okay. And I walked away, and I go over to G, and I'm like, are you good? And she's like, no. She's like, that table is absolute hell. She's like, they came in barking orders at me. They're being rude. This is where I get crazy. I can't help it. I can't help it. You know? How dare you? How dare you? It's one thing to snap my head off, but the girl I have to work with is already clearly having a bad day. Absolutely not. Yo, I was so fucking rude to them people half the night. I went over and I checked on them, and some guy asked for a straw, and I ignored him. Then I went back and took it 5 minutes later. I took my time. I delivered my drinks before I delivered his straw. How dare you? And listen, so then at one point, G says, G asked me to take the table because they were still being fucking rude to her. Like, it makes me so mad. And then, you know, this is her first day. This is only my second day. So at this point, she's taking it personal. She's never bartended before. She's always been in the back of the house and or out on the floor hosting and stuff. Like, she did a lot of stuff for that resort. I know she was cooking in the back of the house, but she also said she was at the front of the house as well. So confusing. But she asked me to take the table, and I can see she's in her head, and she's like, I can't do this. No, you can. Don't quit, because I'm gonna have to work 7 days. You can, and you will. You can and you will. You know what I mean? I'm over here in the corner trying to give her a pep talk. I'm trying not to walk back over to that table and get jumped because there's 4 of them and 1 of me. And I was pissed. I was like, how dare these you know? And they didn't leave. Oh, they did. They left a $6 tip. But I made her keep it because they was mean. How dare you, you rude ass hussies? I don't know how people do that. I go to fast food restaurants and I'm nice and I'm still worried they're gonna spit in my food. Where do you get the audacity to be rude as hell and not even worry if somebody's gonna tamper with your food? I think people are ignorant as fuck. I really do. They don't realize that people are out here tampering with people's food. There was a man almost killed over some rat poisoning from Taco Bell. And that's not the only case. I can dig up some more. I'd rather not, because that's why I don't eat already. But, you know, it's crazy. It's like, imagine being that rude and then dumb as hell thinking that people won't pour fucking rat poisoning in your drink. Now, I would never do anything like that, but that's because I have a conscience. A lot of these motherfuckers don't have a conscience. They don't give a fuck about that job. They don't care if they go to jail for damn spitting on your tacos or hawking a loogie in your fucking iced tea, you know? It's like, people are crazy out here, y'all. Really. Really, really. Yeah, that pissed me off. I said, I'm gonna damn go off in here. I'm gonna go off in here. This is crazy. And I told her, I said, it'll come to you. It'll come to, oh, Lord. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, so at the end of the night, I forgot about this. At the end of the night, we were going to leave, and I told her, I said, don't worry. I said, people are just rude. She said, I want to be in the back of the house. She said, I want to cook. She said, if I'm being honest, she said, I don't even like to wait on my own kind because they're so rude. She's not black she ain't white or Mexican. So I'll let your imagination do the thinking. Listen. How can I say this? It depends on where you're at and who you're dealing with. Not all people are the same. The people that I've been dealing with, they have tipped me. But it's crazy that, I guess it's not. I think she's very smart. I do. I think she's a very smart woman. And she sees things for what it is. And it's kind of sad that one bad experience almost, oh, hold on, honey. You're going for a ride. One bad experience made her almost quit, you know? And then she's talking about how black people are disproportionately rude. And help, hold on. And that she doesn't like serving, you know, African American people because of how rude people can be and how they don't tip her. I said, damn, girl. I didn't know what to say. I just said, yeah, I understand. Listen, if you've worked the service industry, you've probably dealt with rude people from all races. But I think that it was just because those people were so rude, she took it personal, and it's not her fault to take it personal, you know? Hell, I would have thought that they was being mean to me because I was white if I waited on them. So it's kind of crazy that, you know, she's black, so. Oh, God. Well, you know, I talked to them, and I didn't see that she had already got their drink order. It is people in general, Joseph. It is. I walked over and I'm like, hey, can I get y'all something started? And they like snapped my head off. And I'm like, oh God, well, you know, you never know. So that's so funny that she said that at the end, because I'm like, girl, I thought they didn't like me because I was white. So they just assholes to everybody, girl. They snapped my head off. I took it personal. I thought they was discriminating against me. Didn't want no white waitress, thinking I couldn't get the job done or something. It's so funny. Yeah, that table wreaked havoc on us. I had to get ugly. Like, no. Somebody said something, I was like, no, and walked away. Like, how dare you? You gonna make my backup quit, causing me to have 7 days a week? You better get it fucking together before I lose my mind up in here and quit myself from the stress of worrying about having to work 7 days. You know what I mean? Like, how dare you? Shit was wild. Other than that, everybody was super nice. Even the party. This girl turned 30. And they brought in all of these beautiful charcuterie boards. They had the damn beautiful prosciutto flowers and like the beautiful roses that you can make with the meats. Y'all, they had freaking... I would have took a video if I had YouTube on my brand new Apple. Yeah, why is my ear not working? Do I just not have it up? Oh, it's on defrost. Yeah, they were so cute. They brought like strawberries and fruit, and they had chocolates. Even after they left, they were like, do y'all want this? I was like, me and G, we were like, hell yeah, we'll eat some of it. They had these really good cookies. I had one cookie, and it was this little. I wanted more. I ate that. I was not expecting that. I don't know what that was. It had umami in the middle of it. Something that was umami flavored. What is that? That's a sweet potato. Yeah, so laundromat. Yeah, I had one of them cookies and I was like, holy shit. The cookie was soft and the umami flavor was so rich on the inside. I was like, whoa. I ain't never had that shit before. I gotta get the hell away from this table before I'm as big as it. Yeah, we still got shit in the fridge at work. And then, because they took a whole table and they made a whole charcuterie board and then they left it. They said they didn't want it. And so we have regulars that come in that get hungry and they were asking if they could have some of the charcuterie boards. So I made them boards with it. So that's kind of like bar culture. Yeah, back in the day, man, you'd go to a little biker bar. You'd pull up in the middle of BFE. Bumfuck boy, you got a pretty mouth. You'd pull up in the middle of BFE at some biker bar. You'd go in, and they'd have chili and damn cornbread. I mean, you know, everything you can think of, they'd have thrown up on the bar, doing like a potluck at the bar. I miss that. You really can't do that much anymore because of regulations. It's not a free country. We can't even eat a bowl of chili up in the damn Bill's Saloon anymore. So stupid. Yeah, I miss those days. Bar food and bar fights. Oh my God. Yeah, I had a good time. I know the new will wear off and I'll be like, oh my fucking God, I gotta go back to this fucking place, you know? It's all hunky-dory for like a month and then reality sets in. That girl better not quit. That girl better not quit. Oh God, he said, can you work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday? I said, is he gaslighting me right now? Why didn't you just say the whole week, homie? Why you... Like, and he said it so fast. I'm like, what if I didn't catch Wednesday, Thursday in that, you know? He said it so fast. I said, yeah, I can do it. Oh, God. All right, let's start laundry. Yeah, that shit was wild. So wild. Charcuterie board. Yeah, there was 2 types of cheeses. There was, I saw Reese cups, so they had a little bit of chocolate. Those little cookies. I saw 2 different kinds of meat, 2 different kinds of cheeses. Lots of strawberries, grapes, and pickles. They made a huge one. And then they also brought these big old pans of like chicken pasta, Parmesan, or Alfredo. They also, I mean, they had so much food. It was crazy. They started bringing in food, and I was like, oh, Lord. What have I signed up for? But, you know, honestly, they were all so nice. Like, so nice. They looked so pretty in their dresses. I mean, they were dressed up. I'm glad that I dressed up because everybody was dressed up last night. I think tonight's going to be more of a laid-back vibe. We don't have any parties planned. But, at what point do we clean it out? Welcome to car life, where you never know what the hell is going on. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, where's the laundry detergent? Yeah, I made like $80 in tips though. Yeah, I know. This is the world now. This is the world now. 2008 probably would have made like $800 on a fucking Friday night. Ain't that crazy? If you were working in a strip club, for sure. But, and I was back then, that's why I said that. I'm so glad I found my key fob. Y'all, I've been so stressed about that, but I couldn't do nothing about it, so I just let it go and let God. I thought that maybe I could have threw it in here in the floor, and I did. Oh, God. Let's go put this in the wash. I ain't got no hands. Oh, shit. Damn it. Are you for real? Oh. Yeah, I swear to God, I'll drop a bow on somebody. You come in being mean to my bartender, my buddy. And you know, it's so crazy because people come in and they unruly as hell and they be drinking. And they so stupid. I've had to call the law on people before, and it's like, buddy, you do know you're drinking, right? And you're here by yourself, so the cops know you were driving. It's like, you really want to cause problems right now? Yeah, they got that song going. Cool. The hell? They make some crybaby stuff nowadays. How do we go from "Hit me, baby, one more time" to "Made it out alive, cry, cry, cry"? I don't know. I need some upbeat shit in my life. Oh, that's another thing, man. We get to play the coolest music. We get to play the coolest music. My boss is really cool. We can always change it. Like if we get different communities of people in that want different music, then we will. Last night we were listening to a lot of reggae. A lot of 90s rap for the birthday party. little 50 Cent and damn stuff like Nelly, 50 Cent was all playing last night. It was great. Stuff from the early 2000s. My air is not working. Is it just already hot? Jesus Christ. I like my suitcase. I got on a nicotine patch. It's been working pretty good. It's like literally on my tip. Yeah, that damn book bag. Those little things, I guess it was made to like hold this together. There's another one. My key the fob must have been wrapped around. It must have somehow, when I took it off the bag, this must have fell off too. And thank God it got stuck somewhere on here, because when I threw the bag in, the damn key fob threw in the floor. I'm taking them off so I don't have that problem again. It's crazy because when I was carrying the bag, I looked at it and said, these things are getting on my nerves. I should have just took it off again. And I wouldn't have had that problem. I'm glad I went to work and did everything like I had to, instead of like panicking and like driving an hour back to my gym to look for the key fob. I just said, forget it. I can't change it. My car's locked for now. Nobody knows where I work, so it's not like they can show up and unlock my car. That was my biggest fear. I'd already made a plan last night when I got in the bed to never go back to that gym location, because anybody that finds the key fob would have access to my truck. It was crazy. It was crazy. I can't do nothing about it now, you know. I'm glad I found it. And y'all, I've been taking this and I feel so much better. I think that this is exactly what was missing from my diet. It's the magnesium glycinate. It's supposed to be for muscle and bone health. And it also helps you sleep. I hope so. God has been good. Listen, I met these people the other night when I worked. It was two couples. They were really nice. And then they come in again last night. The two girls, as soon as they walked in the door, they was like, "Woo, Brooke!" I was like, oh God. We had so much fun. I was like, you know it's the bar industry when you meet somebody one time and then you see them the next time and you're just like, woo! Like, that is so bar culture. It's like, we become best friends last time just by getting introduced. Like, it's such easy, chill culture, you know. It was funny. She's like coming in, giving hugs. They wanted to see my outfit. They looked all fly. One girl had on this badass leather corset, but she also had on these matching cow print thigh-high boots with the toes popping out. Those were so cute, and they laced up in the back. Oh, thank you, Critter. Yeah, they were funny. They are funny. Oh God, I love people, y'all. I really do. But then when I'm out here dealing with the passive aggressive behavior, I hate them. You know what I mean? I love them when I can do it in the capacity where I have I love it when I have the capacity for patience and I can interact with them in a positive manner. I love it under those circumstances. But then there's other times, like this morning, it was 9 a.m. and I start hearing people fucking yelling and shit, and I'm like, what the fuck? And it was two dudes by my car that live in the neighborhood. Oh, so you think that I was out partying last night and you just think that you're entitled to wake me up? See, if I would have popped the motherfucking door open and been fucking rude, then I'm the bad guy? You got a comfortable fucking house on the same street? You got a house. And you come over to the park to bother homeless people that had to work last night? Oh, just buckle in, because now that I got a job, that's going to change my mentality. Buckle in. I'll be goddamn. You know what I mean? They literally walk from their house over there to my vehicle. It's a fucking quarter of a mile walk. No other cars in the park, just mine. I know exactly who they are because they've came over before when I was cooking with their dogs and no leashes. And it's not a dog park, okay? It's a boat ramp. I got more right to fucking be there than they do. Your dog is supposed to be on a fucking leash and you're supposed to pick the shit up after he shits. Do they do that? No. They're just over there bothering some poor homeless woman that had to work last night. Being fucking rude, inconsiderate. If I'm parking there, don't you think that I don't have anywhere else to park? Yeah, buckle in, because shit's going to be wild this summer. I wasn't in the mood. It was too early. And I just started this job, so I can't get too cocky. I could get fired tomorrow. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just, people are so fucking rude. Well, has the world been on fire? I feel like I ain't been able to see anything. It doesn't matter if they know I'm sleeping. See, that's the problem with society. It's like people... Oh, so I get it. So if they felt like I was sleeping, then they wouldn't have bothered me. But since they felt like I might have been up, that's why they were bothering me. First of all, this is why society is failing, because people operate off of their feelings instead of facts. So they felt like that I might have been up or asleep or whatever, right? They're operating on their feelings. The fact is that they need to have respect. Do I come to their fucking property yelling, screaming, slamming doors, playing music, letting my dog shit on their front lawn? No, I don't. See, if they knew the fact is they should never even been near my car. That's a fact. The fact is they should have never been in that fucking park with their dogs not on a fucking leash. The fact is their dogs shouldn't be shitting on the ground right next to my fucking, where I'm gonna have to step out to stretch. See, those are facts, but people don't operate on facts anymore. They operate on feelings. So since they felt like taking their fucking mutt for a walk, then they're entitled to bothering me? Some of y'all need to get it together. Y'all operate on feelings and not fact. The fact is they should have never been anywhere near my motherfucking car. That fucking park is multiple acres. There is plenty of room to spread the fuck out. The fact is they probably fucking recognized me from social media and they were coming out to get a reaction. They better not catch me on a bad fucking morning. Society has lost all respect for themselves and others. And now people don't know what's right, what's wrong. They don't know how to behave. And they operate under their feelings, not facts. Every decision is made by how they feel in the moment. It's not about what's respectful, what's factual, what's rational. No, they'd rather just stay floating down that damn Denial River, right? I don't give a fuck if I was smoking crack. They ain't got no right to be bothering me. And that's a fact. By law. I don't give a fuck if they felt like coming to the park and felt like seeing what I was doing in my fucking car. That makes it wrong. The law states they ain't supposed to be nowhere fucking near me, especially if they recognize me off of social media. That makes them a stalker. See, that's how that works. Legally speaking, they ain't even got no legal right to be in that fucking park. Legally speaking. It's just crazy.
Stupid people. I don't listen to stupid people.
They knew I was in the fucking truck. You haven't been here long enough, so take a back fucking seat, bitch. They knew I was in the fucking truck. You're not listening. They know who I am. You're not listening. So now you're in timeout. Like the child you're behaving. Like, nobody listens. Once again, they wonder why I fucking block them. Because you're not listening and you're not going to get it. It's pointless to even speak to you because you're not getting it. They know exactly who I fucking am. I just said that I ran into them last week. They've tried to have multiple interactions with me in the past year. It's crazy. Maybe it's pure ignorance. Maybe nobody tries to make contact with her so she don't understand that I'm constantly stalked. Maybe she wasn't here for the damn 50 police reports that I've had to file in the past year. You know, maybe she wasn't here for that. Give her the benefit of the doubt. People are so dumb. Excuse me.
I need to get changed so I can dry clothes. Can't get all the quarters. Is that gonna be enough? 1, 2, hair, 3, 4.
Yeah, I always am. That's why I didn't open the door, because I heard 2 or 3 guys, and then when I looked out, it was those guys that have the dogs that live down the road. I know exactly who they are. They know who I am. They've met me before. They've seen my truck. They've seen my face. They've spoke to me. We've had multiple interactions.
So glad I found my key. I knew I had it on my bag when I come out the gym. We went to Walmart and then I went to shower. And when I come out, I threw my bag over my shoulder. My keys wouldn't come off and the key fob fell off. They got music on. I want the pig. Still got 5 minutes. Damn it, Brooke. Butterfingers. That 5 minutes is more like 10. It says 5, but it turns out to be 10. We haven't had any kids come in. We don't get young people in there. We have more of an older crowd. So I appreciate that because the younger crowd don't know how to act. Older people hold a different level of respect in society than younger ones do. Young people are disrespectful and entitled and lazy. Not all, but the vast majority. LG, 7 hours ago. Look at this. Oh, thank you, Jeremy. Is that Levine? Lengiven? Thank you. Look at this. One of the first news articles right here. LGBTQ plus Catholic Hope Pope Leo continues Francis's legacy of acceptance. What did I say? We just talked about this less than an hour ago. And here's a news article talking about how the new Pope is going to be accepting of the LGBTQ plus. He's going to carry on Pope Francis's legacy. That was only half my prediction. The other half is that they'll try to normalize pedophilia in the church.
in society. Thank you again, Jeremy. In the eyes of many LGBTQ plus Catholics, the late Pope Francis created a systemic shift towards acceptance of the LGBTQ plus. Now, as the world welcomes newly elected Pope Leo, these lesbian, gay, and bisexual, transgender, and queer faithful say they all hope that he'll continue to move in the same direction. So we have a culture of lying through the church now. I mean, you know, as if they didn't already have it. But, this is crazy. Well, this is what God was talking about. This is what God is talking about in Revelations. Things that should not be celebrated will be celebrated, and things that should be celebrated will be destroyed. People will try to destroy it. Absolutely the end of times. Do y'all remember when the gay woman got up at Trump's inauguration in the church, and like J.D. Vance and his wife, Trump, and Melania was sitting there, and this gay preacher gets up after he was inaugurated, and this female buzz-cut priest is talking about how the LGBTQ plus is in fear right now. So you're scared of the government, but you're not scared of burning in hell? I mean, they don't have a track record of being rational, so that kind of makes sense. Like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? This is crazy. What was this thing? Nothing of importance. Views on the LGBTQ plus have shifted dramatically over the past decade, including the views of practicing Catholics. For example, the Pew Research Center from 2023 to 2024 Religious Landscape Study found that 19% of U.S. adults identify as Catholics, and found that 70% of Catholics favor allowing same-sex couples to marry, up from 57% in 2014. So let me tell you what this really means. That means that 70% of the Catholic religion followers, they're going to burn in hell. Because God makes it very clear that being associated and complicit is just as bad as the actual sin itself. So being complicit in this behavior and pushing for accepting same-sex marriage, gay people adopting children, that, first of all, that shit's sick, all of it. Second of all, 70% of Catholics are going to burn in hell because they agree in same-sex marriage. God forbids it. Forbids it. We cannot tailor the Bible to what we want to make us feel better. We have to go off of facts. The Bible is a fact. Manipulating it for your feelings is a sin. So 70% of the Catholic Church, that's like the parish, believe that same-sex marriage should be allowed. So, and what am I always saying? What am I always saying? That only 70 to 80% of the population are actually good people and are going to go to heaven. Isn't that interesting? 70% of the Catholic Church. Very interesting. Kind of matches my own statistical analysis of how many good people there are in comparison to bad people. I always say, what, there's like 1 or 2 out of 20? Like, it's crazy. And I always say that only about 70 to 80% of the population are actually decent humans. And 70% of the church believe that gay marriage should be legal. Very interesting. Hold on, what was this? In 2024, a year after Pope Francis formally approved allowing Catholic priests to bless same-sex couples, then Cardinal, the new Pope, Prevost, said that the subsequent pushback from the bishops in Africa highlighted the need to give more authority to local bishops. Sorry, I thought this was talking about something else. Pope Francis opened the door to a new approach to the LGBTQ+, and now Pope Leo must guide the church through that door. What did I fucking say? I was not a very smart woman, but common sense. Common sense goes a long way, honey. The fact that he protected pedophiles is the more concerning matter. Yeah, the LGBTQ+ is bad. Yeah, they're, gonna burn in hell. But I think what we need to be concerned about is the fact that this man was covering up for pedophiles in the Catholic Church. So that's the more concerning matter. Not one, not two, but three for years. The church had to pay out $2 million because he was covering up pedophilia. Don't take these beautiful things that I... I could go for some more tacos, breakfast tacos. They were delicious. The ones from Dunkin' Donut, the bacon, egg, and cheese ones are good, but that cheese is not the best. It's not. It's like that fake government cheese. It might be made out of plastic. Oh my God, did y'all see that girl that had the loaf of bread the other day and she went to squeeze it and it foamed back out? Have y'all seen that? What are they doing to the bread? Y'all know that Subway used to put yoga mat material in their bread. So this girl got a damn loaf of bread. She takes out 2 pieces. She puts one in each hand. She squeezes both of them as hard as she can. And then she lets them out and the bread comes back out and the structure goes back to a piece of bread. It went viral. It's got like ridiculous amounts of views. Tens of millions. And she's asking, she's like, what are they putting in bread to make the bread? You know how it's like a memory foam mattress. You push down and then the bread comes back out like a square. She was squeezing the bread as hard as she could. And then she let go of the bread and the bread would form back out into a piece of bread like this. If you ain't seen it, it's crazy. I might find a clip and show it to you, but yeah, wild. There it is. Yeah, I wonder what they're putting in the bread. I'm glad I don't eat that shit. Bread is horrible for you. Don't eat bread. No bread. Y'all got hit by y'all got hit, oh my God, a 4.1 earthquake rattled parts of Tennessee and Georgia. An earthquake on Saturday morning with a magnitude of 4.1, about 30 miles southwest of Knoxville, Tennessee. Residents in Atlanta, which is like 2 states away, felt the rattle. They could feel it. Residents in Tennessee and Georgia were jolted awake Saturday morning by an earthquake with a preliminary magnitude of 4.1. The earthquake had its epicenter just outside of Greenback, Tennessee, a town of about 1,000 people, but it was felt as far away as Atlanta. Shortly after the quake, people in the region logged reports with the U.S. Geological Survey about where they felt it. Reports of shaking came from as far away as Nashville and Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm glad I wasn't there. I would have been panicking. There were only a few instances of light damage reported. The last time a strong earthquake was felt in Tennessee was 2018, and it was a 4.4. Damn. Oh, it's dead. I was like, why is this not working? Oh, God. Here we go. Where is this? Here. There we go. Vapes died. Y'all, what be going on? Jesus Christ. Listen to this. The Clayton County, North Carolina. Clayton County teenage girls were found safe, and 2 men are facing charges of kidnapping during the week. Clayton police say that the parents reported their daughters, 14 and 15, missing on Saturday morning, and said they had last been seen around 1 a.m. on Satinwood Drive. The girls allegedly left a note saying they were being picked up by some guys they had met. They were not carrying cell phones with them. Police said the investigation led them to Florida. From North Carolina to Florida. These children were from North Carolina. They met 2 guys online, or some guys online. Yes, 2 guys online. And these men kidnapped these girls and took them to Florida. Erickson, I can't say these Spanish names, y'all, or listen. Erickson, ULLO-FLORES, was 18, and Edwin Alberto Cornines, 22, both from Daytona Beach, were arrested Sunday on charges of kidnapping. They're being held in Florida, waiting extradition to North Carolina. The young girls were found safe. And that's why you don't give your children cell phones. Why do they need to get in contact with strangers off the internet? Who thought that was a good idea? I'm just so grateful I don't have to worry about that with my kids. A Texas Fort Worth man kidnapped an 8-year-old girl from the Walmart toy aisle. He was actually sentenced this week. William Navales Jr. Why does that sound like a white guy's name? Well, if you know the statistics, you already know it's more probable than not that he's white for this kind of crime. A Tarrant County jury sentenced a man for 4 consecutive, this is what I'm talking about. He got 4 consecutive, that is one after another, that is not concurrent, that is consecutive. That means he'll serve 25, he'll serve 25, he'll serve 25, and he'll serve 25, as he should. He kidnapped an 8-year-old. He actually deserves the death penalty, because there's no reform for him. So he's actually going to be soaking up taxpayer money for the next 100 fucking years. He's 49. For the next 50, 60 years, he's going to be soaking up taxpayer money. It'd be cheaper just to put a bullet in him. Death by firing squad. Cost us free 99, and we wouldn't have to deal with him. But because he's gotten 4 consecutive life terms, we're going to have to feed him, house him, and the state will probably, I don't know, in 60 years, he'll probably go through a good $1 million keeping him. But we could solve this for free 99 with a bullet. And they've started to. Was that Georgia, South Carolina? They've been killing people all over this country now. People that have been waiting on death row for years to be executed. And so they've been tried. A jury of them, their peers, found them guilty. And a lot of these cases that are on death row, there's physical evidence. They got their prints, they got their DNA, they got blood samples. There's a lot of physical evidence with these cases. Otherwise, their appeals wouldn't be exhausted and they wouldn't still be sitting on death row. So, this man, William, kidnapped a girl from the toy aisle at a Fort Worth Walmart back in December of 23. He took the child to 3 separate locations to sexually assault her. And I just want to be clear, because I don't think, have I said it before? The only type of offender that we cannot help is a pedophile. This is tried and true. There's been studies on this. The only type of people that are non-reformable are pedophiles. Their brains are hardwired for this affliction. I don't know what to call it. Nothing we can do. No therapy, no medication. I mean, we could castrate them. Unfortunately, because of civil rights, you can't do that because of, law. But that would be the only thing that we could do to reform this pedophilia in these offenders. When they are perverts, there is nothing we can do to change that. That is something that they are going to have, that perverseness, for the rest of their lives. There's no reform in this behavior. So it's best to actually just execute pedophiles, because they're soaking up taxpayer money. We can't fix the problem. We can't reform them. There's no psychological and or therapeutic medicinal ways to cure this. They're non-reformable. Their brains are hardwired towards children. Once a pedophile, always a pedophile. It's just crazy that this man's going to get to sit here and soak up taxpayer money. Hold on one second. Man convicted of kidnapping a Fort Worth, Texas girl, sentenced to prison. I want his criminal history. What was his name? William. So it looks like he was sentenced 5 days ago. This damn article is wanting me to buy the news. I'm not buying the news. He held her captive for 8 hours. He also admitted to the cops that he had kidnapped her and then abused her. He's a career sexual predator. How did I know? How did I know? That's what they're calling him. The 51-year-old career sexual predator gave no reaction as the judge handed down the punishment. The judge stated, quote, I do not believe society is adequately equipped to deal with him. So why are we? And why are we going to deal with him for the next 60 years? Why not just give him a death sentence? He's a black guy. Why does he look like Seal out here behaving this way? That actually shocks me. I mean, I know that. I mean, who was Little? Little was a black serial killer. Well, he was. But, I mean, we typically see this with white males. Ted, you know, John, Gacy, Bundy. You know, we typically see white males, and specifically child sex offenses. We see a lot of white guys, okay? Or Hispanics, and black guys. I'm talking about like brazen attacks, to actually physically kidnap a child and then hold them hostage. It's usually white men, so I'm shocked. But listen, all it took was for him to go through something traumatic that turned him this way, and then here he is. And let me tell you something about this bitch. He's such a pussy that he didn't even show up for his own trial. He decided to, legally, they can do this, he can opt out of having to go to court. And so he did. In September, Webb chose not to be present for his own trial. It took a jury less than 15 minutes to convict him for grabbing the 8-year-old girl off the street. So he's such a bitch that he can't even show his face in a courtroom. He's such a bitch, he has to kidnap children instead of actually trying to kidnap a woman. No, that's just what his perversion is for, children. I want his full name. No, that's a different guy. Y'all, I fucking hate Google. He kidnapped a different girl in Fort Worth. Jesus fucking Christ. He kidnapped, Michael Webb is this guy's name, the black guy. He kidnapped her while she was walking with her mother. She was an 8-year-old girl walking down the street with her mother. This guy pulls up and kidnaps this girl and held her captive for 8 hours. He was sentenced. How much did he get? It doesn't, that's somebody else. No, I said William. I put William in the name and it's still fucking. That's even worse. That's even worse. She was walking with her mom. Oh, this is why. Because the guy in Fort Worth, hold on. No, I don't want to sign up. This is ridiculous. It should not be this hard to get the fucking news. And this happens so much because they write the same titles. Fort Worth girl kidnapped out of Walmart. William. It's taking me to the Star Telegram, which you have to buy to see the article. It won't let me read it because it wants me to subscribe and buy. What's his fucking name? William Nevels. Nevels? Nevilles. Okay, so William Nevels Jr., 49, was charged with aggravated SA of a child, aggravated kidnapping, indecent liberties with a child. And that's it. I mean, they don't tell us shit. Where's the fucking news? It pisses me off. Do I need to drive to Texas and become a fucking reporter? Apparently so. This is a huge case. We should have his criminal record. We should have his history, his family history, his early childhood. Nothing. You can't find nothing. This man kidnapped and tortured an 8-year-old for hours, and there's one article out of the Star Telegram. One article. It's like, how? It's just crazy because child abuser. When you type in his name, it says it has no results. So I put William Neville's Texas child abuser, and there's no articles. And the fact is all of that should come up. Like anything he's ever done, it should be attached to the fucking article. Because that's what the media was for. That's what they used to do. All the hard work for us, you know? Not anymore. Not anymore. My hair's a mess, but thanks. I don't know what I'm going to do tonight with it. Probably curl it again. I'm gonna do laundry. Probably have music on in here. 4 life terms. Should have just been executed.
Most ambitious author ever.
I've got two towels that I use for my, like I have a gym membership and that's how I shower. So I have 2 towels that I rotate between. Y'all, I ain't gonna lie. I left this damn towel in my gym bag last night, and when I went to bed last night, I pulled it out to hang it up and it stunk. It was so hot yesterday, 95 degrees, which means that it would have been approximately 110 to 130 degrees in my car because it's black and it gets so much hotter in there. So if it's 95 degrees on the outside, you're going to add 20 to 30 degrees on the inside to that. So that towel was in my gym bag just smoldering damp. And when I come out of work, it stunk. So I had to wash everything this morning. It wasn't bad, but like, y'all know I got OCD, so. Damn it. I'm so sick of these fucking bras. The cups are all messed up. I'll never wear it again. Not with those. I'm so sick of cheap shit. It's a $40 bra. Music. On my feet. And that's what they don't see. Ooh, ooh. No. Laundry's done. Breakfast is full. Now I gotta pee. Oh, I need to clean up. Oh. Ain't this been an adventure, y'all? I'm about to head out. I gotta go relax for a little while, seriously. No, I don't. I gotta I gotta go set my computer up and stuff. I still don't have everything I need on my apps on my phone, so I gotta go do that. God, it's hot already. I can't breathe. Yeah, I'm gonna go relax. I'm gonna go relax. I am. Hey, Marjorie. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. Thank you for hanging out with me. I think it's important to remember that God is very clear. He's very clear. We cannot manipulate his word to make ourselves feel better. We can't. And we also can't manipulate his word to conform to what the radical left wants us to do. Any church that is accepting of the LGBTQ plus is not a church at all. That is Satan that has seeped into the congregation. Anyone that supports the LGBTQ plus will burn in hell. God is very clear. You cannot be complicit in Satan's work while walking in God's light. It's impossible. I love you guys. And thank y'all for the rubies. Thank you so much, Cecilia, the floating hearts. I love you guys, and we'll talk this afternoon. Probably try to do a get ready for work with me. I want to do a really cute makeup look. So, thank you, Janice. I'm glad you're doing well, and happy Saturday, y'all. I'm talking like it's Sunday. I love you guys. Pray for me, and I'm praying for you guys. And I'll see y'all later. Bye, y'all. Happy Saturday. Lord.